On this episode, we're going to go over the maintenance on the Torqeedo 1103 and a couple of my own little tips. Hey guys, if you haven't been to my channel before, my name is Ryan Rice, but on this episode we're going to go over the maintenance and a few little tips about the Torqeedo 1103. A lot of this information did come from Jeff Little. If you don't know who Jeff Little is in the kayak fishing community, you must be living underneath a rock. Jeff is the man when it comes to the Torqeedo 1103 in the United States. He is our point of contact. He knows this motor inside and out. I call him the MacGyver of kayak fishing. He's one of the few fishing kayak channels I actually watch. His channel covers so many different things, from fishing to the Torqeedo to tying knots to picking the right lures, kayaks. I mean, he covers it all and he puts out a lot of content. So if you've never been to his channel before, go check it out at the little stuff on YouTube. Talk about what he covers as far as his way of maintaining the Torqeedo, and I consider it to be the proper way since he does work for Torqeedo. But I'm going to throw in some extra tips as well, little things I do. All you really need for this is some WD-40, and I'm going to put the link in the description to everything I'm talking about. I also use this stuff called Clenzoil, and you just need an old or a new soft bristled toothbrush. When I do maintain the Torqeedo or do a little bit of maintenance on it, and I do it quite a bit because the Torqeedo is not cheap. You know, this is a big investment, especially if this is your main propulsion for your kayak. You want to take care of this puppy. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's worth every penny. But to start out, what I normally do is I'll take the items, which I have the battery, the throttle on its Yak Attack mount, and the motor. Take a little bit of WD-40 on your pins inside here, as you can see. Saturates the connections with some WD-40. Now, you can just lightly take a toothbrush, and a lot of times what I do is I stick a little bit more WD-40 on it too, and just gently clean inside there. You want to make sure that you're not rough on these pins because they are not, say, fragile, but you just want to be, you know, they're delicate because they're just little brass pins, and you don't want to like jam it in there and bend the pin up. Bend the pins. Man, I'm having a hard time talking. Just lightly clean inside there. I saturate it. I kind of tap it on a cloth and just kind of wipe off the excess. And I'll do that to the same with the throttle cable. You can see how small the pins are inside there. Once again, just saturate it. Just lightly clean inside there with your soft bristles of your toothbrush. Don't have to be hard on them. Just a lightly little cleaning there. And once again, wipe off the excess of the WD-40. Same thing on the battery. You have where your throttle connects, you have where your battery connects, and you have your charger port. Once again, I just take and just spray some WD-40 in all those connections. Get inside there a little bit, clean it with your brush, and wipe off the extra WD-40 on your battery. Now, I do a lot of saltwater fishing, so my battery and motor and throttle all get covered with salt. So that's when I take this Clenzoil. And what I'll do, this stuff's made for like everything that's around water, around marine, and I'll just kind of take a rag, spray some on the rag, and I wipe down the battery because it gets covered with salt stuff from when you're out fishing. And I'll just wipe down the battery itself to keep it clean because I can feel the salt, you know, particles actually on there from the last time I was out doing saltwater fishing. And I'll wipe down the battery. I'll also wipe down the throttle. So I just put some on the rag and just wipe everything down. And I also wipe down the cables with the same stuff. Wipe off the screen a little bit, and this stuff just protects, this Clenzoil just helps protect all the stuff. And then I do the same thing for the motor cable and the motor itself, you know, especially the fin here, the arm. I just pretty much hit everything with this Clenzoil, and it puts a protectant layer on this as well. None of this stuff's gonna rust because it's all either aluminum or stainless steel anyway, or plastic, but this stuff, Clenzoil, just kind of helps leave a protective residue on everything. One other thing I forgot to mention is you are going to need a ratchet with a 17 millimeter socket on it, a deep socket. Now, I do this every time I'm on freshwater for sure. Not as many times as on saltwater, but freshwater with all the weeds and everything is I take the prop off. And a lot of times I do this right at the water before I put it away. But just loosen it up and you're gonna wanna remove the prop. And the reason why you wanna remove the prop, at least every other time you go out or every time you go out, it doesn't take much to do to loosen this up, is because behind the prop, you're gonna get weeds. You're gonna get fishing line, you're gonna get stuff on or behind the prop. I removed the shear pin and the flat washer, but you're gonna get line and stuff behind that washer. And what happens is it's gonna eat into the seal that's underneath here, and you're gonna get water inside this motor and you're gonna ruin it. You know, I don't know how Torqeedo's warranty is with that, but if they see like no maintenance was done, or you send this back and there's a bunch of line or weed stuck behind the prop, and then see that was the cause, I'm sure they're not going to warranty the motor, and you're not going to want to have to replace this. So just doing this simple step by taking the prop off, checking behind here, you can see mine's clean because I take it off a lot. But when I had this off, I also just kind of spray some WD-40 in here as well, and just kind of give it a wipe down just to keep everything nice and clean. This is a sealed motor, you're not going to hurt nothing. And then I just check the washer and make sure there's nothing on the washer itself, like a little piece of weed or metal or anything that's going to dig into that. And I just make sure the washer's clean, and I wipe that off as well. And I put that washer back on, put the shear pin back in, and then reattach the prop. This is where I want to get into a couple little things that I want to talk to you about of my own tips. And that is, when I'm on the water, I carry this wrench with me. I mean, it doesn't take much room up on your kayak, and all the kayaks we have today, there's plenty of room to carry that wrench, because what happens if you're on the water? You have a bunch of stuff behind this prop and you can see it in there. You're gonna wanna get it out. You're not gonna wanna continue the fish. You're gonna wanna get off to the bank. You're gonna wanna remove this prop and just clean up behind it. And then second of all, I'm around a lot of oyster beds and not a lot of rocks, but tree stumps and stuff. This blade is still just plastic. I'm sure it's mixed with some, fiberglass mixed in there or whatever. I'm not sure how it's, exactly what it's made. It's a weedless blade, but what happens if you break this prop and you are really, really far away from where you launched? You're gonna wanna change this prop. So that's why all you need to do to change the prop is just have this wrench with you. Now I'm gonna leave a link in the description for Innovative Sportsman. I'll tighten it up when I'm done talking to you guys. Innovative Sportsman sells an actual Torqeedo kit. I'm actually gonna take this back off to show you guys. It sells a Torqeedo prop set for that reason, so you can keep a spare prop. I would keep a spare prop with you and this wrench and the kit from Innovative Sportsman with you, because that kit consists of all these pieces. The back washer, shear pin, the washer that goes in the front, and the nylon nut, and the prop. You can see, this is it. It doesn't take up much room to be able to keep this stuff with you on your kayak. So if you break a prop or you need to get to your prop, it's very easy to just have that stuff with you and have peace of mind when you're on the water. Because most people who run a Torqeedo, on most of the kayaks, are not pedal driven. There's a lot of people that run Torqeedos on the Hobies, so at least you have your fins if you bring them with you to get back. But if you're really far away from the ramp or far away from home and you have to paddle back, especially if the water's rough or the bad weather's rolling in, you're gonna wanna change this prop and get back to where you need to. So to have this kit with you is a big deal in my opinion. I still need to order the kit, and actually after I do this video, I'm actually gonna order the kit. But that's what made me think about telling you guys about it. But Innovative Sportsman, which I'm going to leave the link to their website and the link to this prop kit, gives you all this stuff. The other few little things I want to talk to you guys about is also Innovative Sportsman makes a rock guard for this Torqeedo, and it has like a built-in line cutter that sits right above the prop or weed cutter. It also, obviously it's a rock guard, so it's going to protect you from hitting the rocks, and it kind of comes over the top of this, protects the front of this, and like I said, it has a cutter up top here. I don't have it on mine because I'm not really around a lot of rocks. I don't fish a lot of rivers. I'm hoping that's going to change soon because I actually want to do some river floats. I'm not around a lot of rocks. I'm around oyster bars, which I can see it's already starting to cut into my prop a bit. I would suggest getting the rock guard from Innovative Sportsman. Talking about these products, I'm not sponsored by them, guys. I'm just telling you the products that are out there that I believe in and are highly recommended by Jeff. You know, Trey Leach is the owner of Innovative Sportsman. He's also a good welder and does a lot of cool things, but he's the one that makes the rock guard. It's for the Torqeedo. I think he's probably the only one that makes the rock guard for the Torqeedo, so that's why I'm recommending him. I'll leave a link to that as well. I'm going to leave a link to the prop set, which gives you the shear pin, the extra nylon nut. You know, the nylon nuts over time wear out a bit too because there are just rubber inside there that helps keep them on for vibration. So you're going to want to replace that nut probably every year anyway, just because of all the on and off. You know, it's going to wear out over time depending on what mount you have. I have the new canoe mount, but when you're doing this maintenance, just double check all your nuts on your mounts. Double check your Allen key fittings with your nuts. Make sure everything's tight. Just do like a once over. It doesn't take long to do this. Really, to take the prop off and just kind of spray everything down and clean the ports, you're probably looking about 5 minutes. I mean, it doesn't take long. 5 minutes of your time at least once every 2 weeks or once a week to save a $3,000 investment is worth it because you'll get years and years out of this. I'm hoping I can get 10 years out of this motor and not have a problem with it by just doing these simple maintenance. Down here, you know, this gets chewed up a bit. You know, it's not like it's damaging it, but you get marks on it and stuff. So if you want to keep this nice and black and not all nicked up, I would suggest using a Rhino liner or, you know, like a bed liner spray can that you can get from the big box stores. And that's how you can touch this up. That's what really holds out well over paint. But you can just hit this with some bed liner if you want to protect it. Just do your simple maintenance and you guys will be good to go. Real quick too, because things just pop in my head. Lithium ion batteries. Never let your battery go completely dead. You know, if you're not going to be using your motor for a while, make sure you keep it not on a charge. You don't want to leave your charger plugged into this all the time, but if you haven't used your motor for some time, or you don't use your motor for a long period of time, or not even for a year, at least twice a year, make sure you give your battery a full charge, but do not let your lithium ion batteries go completely dead and drain the cells completely, because that's a really bad thing for lithium ion. And you also don't want to keep this on a charger. Once it's charged, take it off and you'll be good to go. That's about it, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me on any of my social medias. Emails at rjmfishtails@icloud.com. You guys can hit me up there and let me know your thoughts about any of this thing, and drop a comment below of how you maintain your Torqeedo. If you're looking to buy one or you have one, or if you have any problems with your Torqeedo, let us know. This way we can kind of pass on the information, because talking about doing comments on social media, it kind of goes to deaf ears. So if you can reach out and let either me or Jeff know that you're having a problem with your Torqeedo, let them know what it is, or let me know what it is and I'll let Jeff know what's going on. And that's the best way to get back to Torqeedo, is have real world information and comments. Just don't go out posting on social media that, oh, your Torqeedo sucks or I'm having problems with it. It will get fixed if it ain't user error. But you can see this is a very simple setup. Everything's sealed. Don't take your motor apart. Don't take your battery apart. Don't take your throttle apart. Let the professionals handle that if you are having a warranty issue. So as always, guys, I really appreciate all of you guys stopping by, watching this video. Be safe on the water, and I'll catch you on the water. Thanks for watching.